Hello, I'm Janine Nodder, and this is Chattin' with Janine. There's a new sheriff in town, and today we're going to meet him right here on Chattin' with Janine. And welcome, Sheriff Newcomb.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Brian Newcomb, and I've been with the Sheriff's Office for about 24 years. I started my career there as a court officer, and then as a part-time deputy, then a full-time deputy, and worked my way through the ranks. I was assigned to the Attorney General's Drug Task Force, as well as the Drug Enforcement Administration's High Intensity Drug Trafficking Area Task Force for about 4.5 years. After that, I was promoted to sergeant, and I was in charge of our criminal division, which investigates crime, serves warrants throughout the county. And then I was promoted to lieutenant in the criminal investigations division again, and I oversaw that for, I think it was about 11 years, and I made captain 2 years ago, which I was in charge of operations, which was a great assignment. And March 5th, I was appointed Hillsborough County Sheriff to take over for Chris Conley, who became the Chief of Staff for the Governor's Office.
Yes. Yeah, I was there as part of that. The state representatives are the county government.
Yes.
And we vote. And you came highly recommended by our chief of police here in Merrimack, Brian Levesque, and many others. When they introduced you, there was this thunderous applause, and I turned around. And I'm like, oh, there was a lot of. What do you call yourselves? I don't say police officer.
Yeah, we had a lot of deputy sheriffs from the agency there, some police chiefs from some of the towns.
Oh yes,
and
Chief Hardy.
Yeah, former Sheriff Hardy was there, and there was a couple of other police chiefs there. But very humbling experience. It was a very unique experience for a job interview. I've never done a job interview like that before, but it was great to be part of, and I was able to get enough votes to get the spot, and I think it was great to see so many state representatives there that make up the county delegation to fulfill their civic duty. And we all know that you guys don't get paid enough as you should, but
yeah, we get $100 a year, and we used to get $25 a meeting, which is just, it's nothing when you look at the big budget. It's like if everybody shows up, it's like $2,000, but they cut that. I'm like, but we're still spending millions and millions of dollars, but no, you're saving the taxpayers $2,000, and we no longer get the $25. Which
is unfortunate because you folks put a lot of work and a lot of time into a lot of important issues around the state, and they're definitely beneficial for some folks, and you guys are the voice of people that don't have a voice many of the times. You guys are creating new laws, you guys are creating new bills, and I think it's important work, and I think a lot of times it goes you guys go unnoticed for some of the hard work you do, and a lot of the long hours and the discussions that happen, and a lot of thought and meeting with people on various issues. It's very important work, and I do appreciate you guys for doing that.
Well, thank you. Yeah, one of the other department heads was a guest on the show recently, Chad Monier's father, actually. Yes. He was the U.S. Marshal.
Yes.
And he wrote the book about the standoff and not Waco, but Plainsfield, New Hampshire. So finished the book. It was very interesting.
He's a very smart and intelligent man, and a great leader during his time at the Marshal's office during a very trying time. And patience prevailed in that situation where nobody got hurt, and people got arrested that need to get arrested. So it was a very, very good outcome, but I think a lot can be learned from his leadership and his patience in that situation.
A little known fact, a long time ago I beat him in a 5K.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think I could do that now, though. He could probably beat me. I get slower every year. So we just mentioned the marshals, we just mentioned the sheriff, and we also have the state police and fish and game and the police departments.
Yes.
How are they all different?
Sure. I'll start with our office. So the sheriff's office in Hillsborough County has 29 towns and 2 cities, the 2 cities being Manchester and Nashua. And we have some statutory obligations that we need to fulfill, and some of those are transporting prisoners to court, arresting people on outstanding warrants from the superior courts, and from the district courts in related to family matters such as child support issues and things like that. We're also obligated to serve civil process in Hillsborough County, which is any type of civil paperwork that needs to be served, whether it's a small claims or a landlord-tenant issue, we serve that. We also provide supplemental patrol to some towns. We act as a force multiplier when there's a major critical incident. We'll send folks out there to assist in any way possible. Over the past few years, we've become deeply entrenched in Manchester in crime suppression, with arresting folks on warrants and stemming the crime from that downtown area. It seems to be it was a hotbed a little while ago. It's still a hotbed, but our folks teamed up with Manchester PD, their community policing division, their special enforcement division, to really try to attack some of the problems, and I think it's been successful. A lot of arrests have been made, a lot of warrants have been cleared, so that's a positive. But as every day goes by, there's another potential crime out there, or there's another victim. So we want to make sure that we're diligent in focusing on the areas of the county that need that type of help.
Yeah, I'll keep it up because my grandbabies live there.
Yeah, it's it ebbs and flows on what types of crimes are coming through, but as we all know, the summertime tends to be a hotbed for.
That's everywhere. I have one of my best friends. She was a journalist for a number of years, and she used to write for the papers, and said that the crime goes up when it's hot out.
Yeah, I think what happens is people are outside. It gets hot. People get kind of irritated, and things happen. Arguments happen. But it seems that that violence tends to be the more prevalent way to go in solving arguments, which is obviously, we all know that's not. We provide a number of services for small towns. We dispatch for a bunch of different towns in the county that don't have their own dispatch center. We dispatch for Greenville Fire Department and Souhegan Valley Ambulance, as well as Francistown, New Ipswich, police departments, to just mention a few, as well as Peterborough. We're a little bit different from other departments, as I'm a constitutional officer. It's an elected position. Whereas you have state police has a colonel. They control the highways, towns under 3,000 people, and they do the major crime investigations throughout the state. So they do shootings and homicides and things like that. Sheriffs, is a little known fact people don't know, is we have statewide authority. So we can go anywhere from Nashua to Pittsburgh, New Hampshire, and still enforce the law. So that's all 10 sheriffs have that. So okay. It's very important, because sometimes we'll be looking for someone on a warrant, and we may start in Manchester but end in Hampton or Portsmouth or wherever. So that authority is definitely beneficial for us to complete our task and our duties.
Yeah, so the Merrimack Police Department, do they have to stop at the town line?
To enforce their crimes, yes, but there's also mutual aid, where another town, say Bedford, could say, hey, can you come help us? And then it would be okay for them to go into Bedford and help out with that. So we do have that broad jurisdiction where we can go anywhere to help out. So it definitely is beneficial for us, and it's beneficial, I think, for the citizens, because if a crime happens and if we're investigating a crime in Merrimack and the crime ends up taking us to Peterborough or Jaffrey or Ringe, then we can still keep investigating that crime without any jurisdictional boundaries.
What are the most prevalent crimes in New Hampshire?
Right now, I would say the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force, which we have someone assigned to, is very, very busy. They're doing 3 to 4 search warrants a week, both in Hillsborough County and throughout the state. So I think that whole thing started. The increase in that started with COVID. Once COVID happened, there was a 200% increase in internet crimes, specifically child sex abuse, images involving children. So obviously, we know people were home; they had more access to their computers, and I think a lot of people put their guards down, and they just got into this deep dive of web surfing and trading of pictures, and kind of let their deviant side out a little bit. So we're still trying to get control of that, but it's very, very, very busy on that aspect.
Yeah.
We have a lot of I think now with technology, there's a lot of theft scams. There's a lot of elderly scams on the telephone, gift card scams. Regional retail organized crime is a huge huge thing, especially here in Merrimack when you have the outlets. Any town or city that has like large shopping centers such as malls or outlets or something like that, or big box stores, they're very susceptible to the organized crime with the theft that happens. And we all know that people steal to either feed a drug habit or make a profit after for selling it. So it all goes hand in hand with drugs and profit and money and things like that. So it's definitely, and ultimately we're the ones that end up paying the price because the prices end up going up because the businesses are losing money. So it does come full circle to everybody.
Have you been called to go arrest anybody at the Merrimack outlets?
We've helped out Merrimack numerous times on cases that have gone cross jurisdictions or assisted in any way possible. But they have a lot of crime over there. And if you look at where the outlets are, there's I think 5 hotels that are in very close proximity, and those hotels are very close to Manchester and Nashua. So it serves as a good, I guess, home base for some criminals that want to come up here and sell drugs. They want to steal things and stuff like that. Yeah. A few years ago, it was very prevalent. Those hotels were engaged in having people there that were selling a lot of drugs. And luckily, our partnership with Merrimack Police is phenomenal, and we helped them attack that. Some of the ways we attacked it was with Operation Granite Shield, which is a state-funded grant that helps with the stemming.
That was Jeannie Forrester's.
Yeah, the stemming of the sale of illegal drugs in New Hampshire. So we partner with 15 different towns in Hillsborough County. We're the grant writer and grant recipient for those towns, and we share that money with those towns to help combat the illegal drug trade here in Hillsborough County.
Well, as a state representative, one thing that I always hear every year from the constituents is do something about the drug problem. You do something. Well, not this year, but a year or two ago, maybe 2 or 3 years now, I went to the border twice, and I saw that it was wide open. I talked to the sheriffs down there, the Border Patrol. Huge problem. Of course, now the border's being closed, but have we seen a decline in the drug trade since they closed the border?
I think there's a delay in the drug trade. So we do have an investigator that's assigned to the Drug Enforcement Administration's high-intensity drug trafficking area task force. But I think, maybe it's not all coming through Mexico as it was. But you have to think that we're still receiving shipments of produce and things from Mexico, right? So Mexico is huge in importing goods to our country from farmlands, right? So what they do is they exploit those shipping routes to smuggle over illegal narcotics. You might see it stemmed from people actually carrying the drugs over the border, but they're still exploiting the shipping routes that the Mexicans have to bring their goods into the United States, and then that gets shipped all across the country. I don't know that we're seeing a huge downfall in drugs, but what they're doing is they're exploiting other countries such as the Dominican Republic, Venezuela, and things like that to get their drugs over to the United States. And ultimately, for us, we have Lawrence, Massachusetts is a hub. So it would go from New York to Lawrence or directly to Lawrence, and you have a lot of we call them end-line users in New Hampshire who are addicted to drugs that will travel down to Massachusetts and get their drugs, come up here, sell some of them, and use some of them. So that pipeline is certainly still there. The fentanyl epidemic is still real. We're seeing an uptick in methamphetamine and crack cocaine use. So it's definitely here. I don't think we'll ever get rid of it, but we'll do our best to combat it because one life lost is one too many.
Mm-hmm. And another thing that for 10 years, I tried either sponsoring or co-sponsoring to end sanctuary cities, no sanctuary cities, because that protects the drug dealers and the child traffickers. We finally got that bill passed, and ironically, I didn't have my name on it at all. I didn't either the House version or the Senate version, but it passed, and that's what matters.
I think it's important to make sure that we do what we can to enforce the law and protect the citizens of this county and the state, to make sure that our citizens aren't victims of crimes or aren't being exploited in any way. And I think that's a step in the right direction.
Mm-hmm. So I had that list before, so it's just to circle back, because I'd mentioned, I think you mentioned state police and marshals. We didn't really talk, just
Sure.
recap the marshals and fish and game.
So the marshals, they're our federal counterpart. We partner with them quite a bit as far as if we have some cases or some wanted people that we need assistance that we need their assistance in helping find. They'll certainly help us out. We'll help them out whenever we need to. So our partnership with federal agencies is not something new. We've partnered with DEA and the U.S. Marshals for years. We'd always help out the FBI whenever asked. So I think cooperation between all levels of law enforcement, no matter if it's fish and game, state police, our federal partners, it's important. It's very important that everyone does their part to make sure that that a victim gets the help that they need, because ultimately, at the end of the day, we're protecting the victims of those crimes.
Now, can fish and game officers write tickets?
They can.
Yeah.
They can.
Yeah, I thought we passed that.
And
then
they
when the bill came
are
out.
they're the primary enforcers of the fish and game laws and things of that nature. They have a very complex job description, because not only do they enforce state laws, but they also enforce the fisheries laws in the ocean and things like that. So they're very taxed on what they have to do, because they have such a broad area of the whole state, as well as all the laws that they're tasked with enforcing.
So I think I mentioned to you before on the 4th of July that my pastor is a former police captain in the Manchester Police Department, so Father Tom Steinmetz.
Yep.
And I was complaining to him, I go, there's a bill that goes, we're going to let fish and game write tickets, and why should we do that? And he goes, well, they do a lot of training, same kind of training that police officers
So they go to the same police academy that us and municipal officers and state police go to. The reason it's beneficial is a lot of times they're in rural areas. So if they're up in Coas County or Grafton County, if they see a violation, they should be able to act on it, because there's not a lot of police in those areas. So if they're up in Pittsburgh, where there's only a handful of police, or Coas County, they're able to assist and take care of whatever public safety need is there.
Do you write speeding tickets? Do you
Yes.
pull people over?
Yes, we do.
Okay, so how much over the speed limit can I go before I'm in trouble?
Well, if the speed limit's 65, you should be going 65. But we do have a problem right now on our state's highways where people are traveling in excess of 100 miles an hour on a fairly regular occurrence, and it's not uncommon for our deputies to stop cars and issue citations or counsel the operator on their driving habits. I mean, ultimately, when you stop someone for speeding or for any type of motor vehicle in violation, you want to make sure that you're educating them on the dangers of their driving patterns. So whether that can be accomplished with a warning or a ticket, that's ultimately up to the deputy to do. But there's been a lot of fatalities on the roadways this year, and I think with the National Highway Safety grants that are out there, which we participate in, the sober driving, the distracted driving, the speed patrols, I think we are an added component to the municipalities and the state highways that need the attention, because if we can prevent one death, that's definitely a job well done.
Well, I'm a jogger, and cars pass me all the time, and I smell marijuana. I call it stinkweed. I can't stand the smell. Also on the highway, cars pass me, and I smell it. So if I can smell it, you can smell it too, I'm sure. Do you pull people over if you smell marijuana?
Certainly, if there's a violation, our deputies will go ahead and enforce the law. I think right now, obviously, it is illegal, but we're bordered by states that it is legal in, and I think a lot of people just assume that it's legal in New Hampshire if they're driving through, or they're just recreating in our areas. But if you look at it, Maine, Mass, and Vermont are all legal states. So you can go right over the border in Massachusetts and buy marijuana and come back into New Hampshire.
And everywhere it's legal, it just reeks. I know some people like it, but I can't stand the smell.
It's a terrible smell.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not the only one who thinks that. Okay, what did I leave off here? What is the chain of command?
Sure. The chain of command at our office is obviously I'm the high sheriff, so I would be the first in charge. Then we have a chief deputy. Then we have a captain, 3 lieutenants, 4 sergeants, and then we have deputy sheriffs after them. Something I forgot to mention earlier is we also are obligated to, by the statute, to provide security for the Superior Court. So we have about 70 court officers that provide security at the Superior Courts in Hillsborough County, which we have 2 of in Manchester and Nashua. And we also provide prisoner control for the prisoners that are at each district court. So there's a handful of other district courts, such as Manchester, Nashua, Merrimack, Milford, just to name a few, that if there's prisoners there, we have to send some folks over to cover the prisoners and bring them up to court and back downstairs. So we do have 2 chief court officers, one in the Nashua Superior Court, one in the Manchester Superior Court, and then we have 2 assistant chief court officers in each court as well. That's overseen by a uniformed services lieutenant, and it's a very, very busy area to be involved in. Manchester Superior Court has 6 courtrooms that are open, and Nashua has 2. But obviously, with having 2 cities there, it's very, very busy.
So on a lighter note, I wore green today to match you.
Oh, I like that. Perfect.
But is that a taser?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I want to get one of those.
We're actually getting new ones, and we're upgrading these to the newest technology, which we got from a congressionally directed spending grant from Senator Shaheen's office. We're new tasers, and it's part of a de-escalation initiative where we're going to venture into the, I guess it's AI training with virtual reality. Mm-hmm. So our deputies will be on the forefront of that training, and we're offering it out to any of the police departments that want to partake in it. As like anything, it takes a little bit of time to get things in and get purchase orders and stuff. So we're still waiting for that stuff to come in. But I think it's going to be a great tool, because training is good. Any training is good training, but the repetition that we'll be able to get in-house and put people through more frequently is going to be beneficial. Mm-hmm.
They had an open house at the Merrimack Police Department one year, and my colleague, Representative Bill Boyd, volunteered to get tasered. And I remember that, and it looked painful.
It's painful for about 5 seconds, and then it feels like you run a marathon afterwards. Your body's kind of drained. But
I know what that feels like too.
It is a very good tool to use to subdue a subject that's actively resisting arrest. And what it does is it prevents our deputies from being assaulted or injured while trying to arrest that person. Mm-hmm.
Well, we only have about 4 minutes left. I was going to ask about a crime that had happened that just stayed with you for a long time. You know. Like you could write a book
I think the double homicide at the Bedford Hotel that happened some years ago. Our agency was instrumental in providing support to the Bedford Police Department and the Major Crimes Unit from State Police, where we secured the hotel. We were responsible for getting the hotel patrons out of the hotel, but it was a very gruesome crime scene in there, and it was very difficult getting everyone out. But there was little kids that had to kind of see what was going on, and it took a while to get them out. But I think that might be one of the ones that'll stick with me for a while. Mm-hmm.
I know the police used to carry stuffed animals around in the trunk. Do you know if they still do that, or do you guys do that?
Yeah, most of the folks do have stuffed animals. They have stickers. They have a variety of things that they can give children, and that helps them out. We also have Nico, which is our electronic sniffing canine. He's also a comfort dog as well. So he'll go out to crime scenes, or he'll go out to kind of bad situations and help out the children and adults that are experiencing trauma and assist in any way possible. It's very good to see the calming influence that a dog has on somebody. They kind of forget what they're doing at the moment, and kind of relaxes them a little bit.
Yeah, dogs are amazing.
Yeah, they're very good. They're a very good tool. And down the road, I'd like to get a patrol canine in the near future. So we'll see how that goes. But I think it would augment and be an important part of our addition to our agency.
I remember, just reminded me of this. I was out visiting my sister in California, and the neighbor called. My husband had fallen, and I didn't freak out. I just said, "Oh no," because he'll bleed. Mm-hmm. And my sister's little dog just came and sat right next to me, and Like, how did she know? Because I wasn't freaking out, but I just said, "Oh no."
Their intuition's pretty
Yeah.
pretty crazy, and how they can sense that. And I think a lot of times it's kind of magnified with the military personnel and the dogs that they have. If they're a dog handler, they'll just stay right by their side, which is, it's crazy to see, but it's definitely.
And when my little grandbabies come to visit, our dog knows as soon as they turn the corner a quarter mile away, she knows that they're on their way.
It's because they have someone to play with now.
Yeah. And then the poor Amazon man, she terrifies him. So if you ever have to go, if somebody had a heart attack, it's probably because they saw my dog.
That's funny.
We got another couple minutes. I think I covered just about everything. Is there anything you wanted to add?
No, I just I'm very honored to be the 30th High Sheriff of Hillsborough County, and I'm just going to continue to work hard to make sure the citizens are safe, and work hard to provide our deputies with all the equipment they need, and continue to provide good, fair, and impartial policing.
Awesome. And you'll be on the ballot next time.
Yes, I will.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yes, and you can come back on the show anytime. So
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching. Don't break the law.